the Chargers and the Vikings. We've seen the Vikings move to the favorite and the total continuing to rise here. The Vikings took the steam. The Chargers 0-2. They look a little discombobulated. They don't look clutch. They have the man, and he can do it, but you got to give him a little bit of support. You can't always give it up on the back end. This guy's too good to be wasting all this talent that he has. The Vikings, are they still kind of, giving people a shot at this point? Look, are they crashing back down to earth with their 0-2 start at this point? They've lost by 3 and 6 points, and now they're coming home. Which team will be 0-3? That's tough. My Chargers, could they be? I don't have a lot of confidence, but I wouldn't have a lot of confidence if I was a Vikings fan right now either. So last year they were clutch, and here's the thing, like this is going to be like somebody's going to choke, right? These are the two biggest, choking teams in the second half with a big lead, right? Whoever's winning at halftime, take the other team in the second half, it feels like. If the Chargers get up 28-0, you better be hammered, put a little bet on the Vikings. If the Vikings get up, hey, take the Chargers on the money line. They don't have to come back to get you paid as long as you're betting in game. They just get back in the game. This game could be, you want to talk about high volatility. The total's all the way up to 54. Feels like you better bring some defense, and they better have some defense in this one. Vikings, talk about all that success, but as a home favorite, then now they're a favorite. They're terrible as a home favorite. They're a 1-point favorite, but here's the problem. Minnesota can't run the ball, and right now in the NFL, you got to be able to run the ball. Chargers were, missing their, star runner. He's a pass catcher too. There's no doubt about that. So I think that is part of the, equation when you have Eckler. I mean, he's one of those, he's like a McCaffrey type, right? With catching the ball out of the backfield. So right now he's questionable with that ankle injury. And, it might be a little bit of an impact player, I would say. So Staley right now just feels like, right, he can't do anything right. And for the Vikings, what were they riding last year with all those 8-0 games decided by 8 points or less? And here you got a game that's supposed to be a 1-point game. Minnesota, remember, they have had 10 days to prepare for this game. And I don't know. This is another trip already back east. Remember, the Chargers have already played a longer trip. So I'm probably going to have to be on the Vikings here in this one to beat my Chargers. I don't have confidence in either of these two teams. And if I'm going to have a team making some kind of wild comeback, I'm going to probably have it be the Vikings. Jamal says, look to the under. I feel like I'm probably going to be on the under. I know, the perception is, right, with Herbert. It's already, the look ahead was 49.5. That really wasn't going to be out there, but maybe it opened 51 in general. It's gone up. You figure Herbert can be, he looks to have his two, his target. All the Charger receivers are looking decent again. Herbert makes you look decent, it feels like, right? I mean, the Chargers do have above average receivers who are starting to get up there in age a little bit, certainly. Over here, though, for Blake, it could, I mean, nobody's saying it couldn't be 35-31, something like that. But 0-2 desperate teams. Man, total's going to be too high for me to get involved in an over. I'll take the Vikings here on Sunday. The Titans and the Browns, we saw yesterday's news. Everybody got excited when Kareem Hunt is going to – that looks like a stopgap measure to me. Yeah, maybe they want to reach back in their pocketbook a little bit and pay a guy like Kareem Hunt to be on the team, and you got a guy like Ford. Kareem Hunt ain't coming in to start. Ford is the back. Ford looked great. Chubb and Ford was a great 1-2. I mean, Ford was looking really good. Hope he can withstand the wear and tear. Hope he doesn't get hurt. He looks like a great, tough runner. And this line's gone down here. I think it was as high as 5. And the total here, 39. The Titans have been involved in some close games so far, no doubt about it. And for the Titans to be, man, it just feels like with Tannehill, right? I don't want to equate him to someone who can't take you down the field and win the game, but Browns have a short week here. Maybe that's been part of the move. Cleveland has been, what can you say? They've been good. They've been great offensively. They've been very, very good. And defensively as well, they've been pretty strong, right? I mean, look at this. They've outgained their opponent 758 to 407. Is that real? They have been, running the ball nearly 400 yards. I know you don't have Chubb, but you got Ford. Now you have Hunt. I mean, he's got to be. I guess he's going to be in there. It feels like he's, going to be number 2. Cleveland never good as a home favorite, no doubt about it. But I don't know, Watson. He's kind of hit and miss. Can you really lay some points here? Titans a pretty good road underdog. They've covered 15 of the last 23 times, getting points on the road. So they just get off to such slow starts. I guess that's what I want to say about Tannehill. It just feels like with the Titans, it takes a while to get things going. And they don't have maybe that, that start the game off big type of threat. Titans go under quite a bit, but man, the Browns, you gotta like. I don't know. I don't want to get too pumped on Watson, right? Watson doesn't look like he's just overwhelming anybody, but probably better than average. Probably take Watson now over a lot of these guys out there at this point. You think of the defense, you think of, these two teams might be, but they go over when they meet. I'm not going to put too much stock into that. I think it's going to end up I think it's going to go over. I'm probably giving out the over right now. I just like these teams with the balance, man. And Cleveland seems to be doing things a little bit right for me right now. Remember, it was the mistakes that cost Cleveland early. They didn't, Pittsburgh didn't do anything offensively. Remember the 2 scores. So just clean that up. You're at home now. You're not on the road. Just clean that up, Browns. You can win this. You can win this. You can get the money too, I think. I'd probably end up bending it down, getting it under, paying a little juice, bending it under the key number here. But I know that short week does bother me a little bit for the Browns. Let's see if you guys have anything on this one with the Titans and the Browns. And, okay, you maybe, Thomas. Oh, I get John Ford there. Okay, Jamal here got some. All right. Thanks, Frederick. Appreciate you. Titans and over there for Jamal. Yeah, maybe with that hook. Look, just feels like a little bit of value here. Maybe the line seems to be shifting to the Titans. I'm seeing handicappers so far on the Titans, no doubt, but probably I might be finding a way to get to the Browns here. See if the line keeps moving right now. I don't think it, will. But, man, could it get off the hook at least? Texans here on the road against the Jags. Talked about the steam getting this number off the 10. It couldn't have been there for very long, but the Jags are a bit of a runaway favorite here, it looks like, this week against the Texans. Stroud maybe at the bottom of those rookie class quarterbacks. I don't know. He had a couple of moments last week. Jaguars are terrible as favorites. I mean, come on, they're going to cover a big number like this against anybody. You got to think that, the Texans, Ryan, this might be an okay situation. I know they lost the first two. They've lost by 16. They've lost by 11. They've been, basically losing the battle of field, but not a lot going right. But the steam came in on the Texans when it got to double digits. They probably can stay in here against Jacksonville that can't cover spreads. Jacksonville's also 12-23 against the spread, coming off of a straight-up loss. I mean, the Jaguars couldn't do much against the Chiefs, but, well, call it against the Chiefs, but still at home, 271 yards. So, Jaguars at home, last 17 home games, 14-3 to the under. This one continues to move lower, opened as high as 46, now down to 44. So, all right. Texans aren't able to convert in the red zone at all. They end up with a lot of field goals here, and not in general, right? More field goal opportunities. They can't score. They can't score touchdowns. So, but Jacksonville has not been clutch at all. They're just 6 for 24 on third down. And the Texans are hoping to build their hopes around defense with Ryans right now, especially if you have to develop a rookie quarterback. So that's why this total's going lower. I'm going to take the Texans here to stay in this game, take the big points. Jacksonville, not my cup of tea, as a home favorite of that kind of number. So it was a struggle last, against the Chiefs last week. I know it's the Chiefs, but they still couldn't get the money. And I thought it was a game that they would. I mean, that's a playoff rival, and you couldn't get, you scored 9 points. Are the Chiefs still there? Jags for Maurice. Blake will take. Oh, sorry about that. Wrong game there. Jamal's on the Jags. I want to lay double digits here. He doesn't like the point spread. See, Nathan, yeah, buy it up. These numbers are so key, right? Don't buy numbers. NFL, you better buy the numbers because you know where it's going to land. That's why it was a 10 when we were leaving off the air yesterday for a split second, went down to 9.5. Just buy it until it's tolerable. Try not to lay, anything close to $2. Try to cut it off at some point. Sprinkle it around. If these are big NFL bets, why if you're putting a dime on a game at plus 9.5, why wouldn't you go, give me $2 on 9, 2 on 3 on 9.5, 4 on 10, 5 on 10, whatever you're doing, right? Just get more money on a bigger number, but still you can lay a little bit, and once it falls, it's going to start to land on there a little bit. You want to clear all your numbers. We've talked about it time and time again that the points come in, basically 1s, 3s, and 6s. All right. I'm going to take the Texans here. Thanks for keeping me busy here, you guys, and focused on the show. I'm picking up the pieces. Hey, I don't know if Nathan liked Cleveland in that game or if he's talking CLV. I'm always about the CLV. And here's the thing. I'm a steam chaser that often overcomes CLV because of my anticipatory market moves. How's that? Patriots and the Jets. How is Hoodie going to cope with what happened last week? Going in to take on the sad sack Jets. with Mac now a favorite on the road. Patriots likely going to Patriot here, aren't they? They're 0-2. You're going to think the Patriots are going to go 0-3 here? Jets got crushed last week. Wilson wins about 35% of his games. So handicappers are already pounding why wouldn't this game? Lay it now. Is it 3 yet? It's already juiced 2.5. Square books might even be at 3 already. Total 36.5 now. It's getting pretty low, but it feels like it's going to be a low. Jets have gone under in 7 of their last 9 at home. Patriots don't look too explosive. Like I said, Mac is becoming just a manager of just exactly what the Patriots want. It's not great when you're in situations like they were in their games so far when you need that score. But this is a series of the Patriots own, right? They've won, 15 in a row against them? They've covered 8 of the last 10 times against the Jets. I mean, I'm going to be on the Patriots. I guess maybe you could make sure with the money line at $1.50. That seems extremely reasonable right now. Because, doesn't it seem like it would be a funky game at the end? 19-17, 18-17, 18-16, some non-traditional scoreagami style thing. New England 5-2-1, their last 8 tries as a road favorite. Can the Jets fix this at all without going out and picking up a quarterback at this point? That'd be kind of the concern. They had 215 yards against Dallas last week and 4 turnovers. Against a team like the Patriots. The Patriots aren't backing over the top, but that's the type of teams that will make you pay. They'll make you pay. So it's going to be hard. I mean, I'm sure the Jets are the contrarian side. Have at it. Maybe Thomas is on the under in this one. Maurice is on the Jets. No, I mean, look, the look ahead was kind of a pick 'em, right, until everything started to go down here a little bit. Who knows if Rodgers was starting where we'd be at entering this game. I'm talking the look ahead after the injury. Jets probably would have been, who would know? They're just 1-1 right now. And, basically with Wilson, right? Yeah. Wilson. So what can the Jets do? Who can they go out and get? And why are they being so, maybe Wilson just looks great in practice every time. Who knows? I'm on the Patriots. I'm going to lay this. I'll lay it 2.5 on the show. Let's go to the, I might be putting a little bit more on the money line here. This feels a bit, maybe it'll be 18-15 and they'll cover the spread. Total's been going, total peaked as high as 38. The steam came in on the under. So probably thinking under, but getting to that magic point now at 36.5, a little bit lower than that 37. So I'm going to take the Patriots on the show here with Mac. Saints and Packers here. The Packers favored by 2 has my interest. I'm pro Packer at this point, and the Saints short week off the Monday night, 2-0, good job, Saints, right? I mean, a really nice job to get off to this kind of start like that. And we made fun of Carr and all that, but hey, look up and look what we got. Saints are really good in close ball games, but the Packers are just 1-1. They lost, I got there plus the points against the Falcons on last Sunday. So, but they struggled all of a sudden on offense. I was, more hopeful than that. But man, the Falcons and their running game, they outgained Green Bay. They doubled their yardage, 446 to 224. Of course, it was a fourth quarter collapse by the Packers, though that kind of took the game away. The Falcons ended up scoring a couple of touchdowns there in the final quarter and won it 25-24. Packers are 13-7. I'm sorry, no, the Packers are 13-4 against the spread last 17 times off of a loss. They're coming back to Lambeau Field in an NFL game, taking on a 2-0 team in a short week. I feel like handicappers are on the Packers with me here this week so far early from what I've seen. I am, I'm a believer in love. I believe in love. That's a cliche that's been used too often with Jordan Love, but I'm not a believer like, take me to the promised land love. I'm just, in it for, a one day relationship at this point with Love. Give me a good spot. I think he'll continue to improve. I'm going to be on the Packers here, but might see some points actually with in this one. Kind of the way I feel. So, Saints did a nice job defensively in that game, obviously against Charlotte. I mean, I know that we're dealing with a rookie quarterback there. So Saints, sometimes on the road scoring can be a problem, but we might get into something interesting here this Sunday. Let's see what you guys have. Eaton is on the pack. Jamal does like the over in this one. And LeBoyer says, he's referring back to the Favre days. You want it to work out, right? Right. We know, look, the storylines there, it might be too easy, right? I mean, the quarterbacks bided their time. They waited their turn. And will it be now Love's turn? But all right. Thomas is concerned about the injury report in the game this week with the Saints and the Packers. And I didn't think it was too impactful here. Christian Watson is questionable. Aaron Jones is questionable. Those are two names you definitely want in your lineup, certainly this week. We know Bakhtari's probably not going to play. So, all right, I'm going to be on the Packers though with this trend, with this situation, if you will. 2-0 team coming into Lambeau. I do have some trust that Green Bay will get it going a little bit here. And yeah, right, Carr, right. We're still skeptical of Carr, but he has a couple of wins here. Let's move on next to the Broncos at the Dolphins. Well, it can't give you too much confidence right now if you're the Denver Broncos they've lost the first two games by a combined 3 points, but now you're going on the road against one of the best. They're looking good. The Dolphins are looking pretty darn good. And Coach Logic is looking pretty good, right? He's calling fake plays on the scoreboard. He's trying to outrun the cameraman. He's having a good time. He's a pretty good coach. He's a real dude, right? So that's what you want. He knows what he has in his team, and he's putting the pieces in the right places. Feels like a good situation with Miami. Now, it's tough to lay this many points in the NFL, especially against a coach that knows how to cover some spreads on the road. Now, granted, it's been a new situation so far, new regime here in Denver. So, they're faced with your own obstacles, like a Russell Wilson that still can't seem to. Maybe he has a few moments here and there, and maybe it's gotten a little bit better over the last few games dating back to last season. But all you got to do is make an extra point, and you might have a couple of wins. So going on the road here, though, man, Miami's looking pretty good. Maurice is our Denver correspondent. Jamal says Dolphins to cover. Dre says maybe it's the Dolphins here laying these points. Do all of Tua's games go over at this point? And let's see. Money line here for the fish for Lawyer. It's tough, man. You got to get this game under 5.5 for sure to get me interested. It's not going back. I mean, maybe there were some 5.5 openers out there, but now you're laying close to a touchdown. Probably feels like I want to even prefer Miami, but 2-0 against 0-2 in the NFL, a lot of times, crazy as it sounds. Now, Dolphins are strong, 21-11 against the spread, coming off of a win. The Dolphins are 10-4 as a home favorite. The Broncos can't seem to get out of their own way. They've lost 13 of their last 16 straight up. And, man, they don't have big play offense. They're missing my man Tim Patrick out for the season, and his career might be over. So they just don't get any big plays. I don't know if they can contribute to a big total like this. The steam came in on the over. What are we thinking here? I mean, the Denver Broncos are really going to be able to match up offensively with the Miami Dolphins here with an offense that can't get any big plays. So I got to be on the under. I mean, is that total right? 48.5 now at some books. Gosh, I didn't know the Broncos were going to come out with such a strong offense in this next game. Doesn't feel like it. Does not feel like it. So I don't know. I don't want this to be, a bad decision for the Broncos moving forward with this. Are they about ready to move on? Can they move? Could they find a way to try to move on from Russell Wilson in the middle of the season? Is that even fathomable? I guess we'll learn more this week, but I guess you're still stuck with Russell Wilson. Can he match up against Tua in this game? Tua 23-13, straight up now in his career. So, and man, the Dolphins, they just worry about the Broncos scoring here. Okay, thanks, you guys. We'll take the under here in this one at 48.5. Overs crushed last week. Somehow I ended up on the green side on the premium picks. Even though I was spouting. And week 2, traditionally the most volatile of the weeks for the totals. I'm not changing my theme here. There's not a lot of road favorites this week, but here comes one of them. Basically the key, I don't want to say it, but you can just start your key. You guys, when you're starting your hand, now you can always work your way off of it because nothing is 100%. But when you got road favorites in the NFL, you start thinking under. And home favorites, you are considering overs. The bigger the spread, maybe the over becomes more. A closer game, you think, oh man, close game back and forth, but no, close game means sometimes a little bit under. That's why you think of that Chargers Vikings. You're like, getting up to 54 and near pick'em game. Here in this one, does seems like a dead set under. I mean, look, it was as high as 46, right? Now it's 43.5. Okay, the Commanders got into a 59-point tussle with the Giants, but now here you're going against the Bills, that should be able to come in and kind of resurrect the thing. The Commanders come in 2-0, riding high. Never thought they'd be in this position, right? First time in a dozen years that they're sitting there at 2-0. They play a bunch of unders. They've gone under in 11 of their last 15. So, one thing about Sam Howell, I know there's some frustration there in some moment. There's 2-0. Nobody's going to be totally, frustrated here, right? But they seem to be able to find a way to score once they get into the red zone. And that is important. So for me, the Bills in that game, they just they dominated the Raiders. Right, Raiders never a chance. So Bills 12-6-1. Let me see. Oh no, what is it? Oh, 14-10 against the spread as a road favorite. This one's only continuing to go up. You're going to want to try to bend it down if you're going to be on Buffalo. But we mentioned Washington, all those unders. Buffalo's gone under in 8 of their last 10 on the road. But the Commanders might be up to something here. Look, I know Buffalo went there and dominated, but I don't think the Commanders can win this game. I do think they can cover the spread, especially at 6.5. Now, I say when you're talking about the Bills to bend it down, I mean, I'm more like the Commanders and bend it up. Make sure you get a hook on the 7.5. Lay it whatever it is, $1.40, $1.50, whatever you need to do. But I'm going to take the Commanders on the show here, plus 6.5 in this one. I like what they're doing, and I'm not necessarily sold on the Bills as being able to go out there and overwhelm. Yes, this is the end of the winning streak for the Commanders, but I'm going to take the points at home. They've shown enough confidence at this point. What are you guys up to here? Bills all day. Lay it with Darren says, lay it. So I know I'm going to be against you guys in this one. And Eaton, right? We already know Josh Allen, a bunch of mistakes. We all know that. And hope, you want the Bill. One game, look, great job. I mean, he looked great in the last game. That was Josh Allen. That was and remember, this was the game where we said, Josh Allen will not make the mistakes in this game because everyone's pointing out the massive number of mistakes that he's making. And it is equated to the departure of Dable. Basically when they read off that stat, all the turnovers happening since Dable left. So maybe when it enters in his head, maybe he but still, you're going on the road here. Yes, it's Washington, but they obviously have a little bit of something going right now. Maybe they'll be a little bit better. But again, I point to that red zone conversion rate for the Commanders right now that is impressive to me. Not being able to take care of the ball a little bit as well. So remember, they didn't really get long field there against Denver. They took advantage of some field position, but they were the team that was clutch in the end there against the Broncos, right? So we know the Broncos, that's why I was talking about the Broncos in the way that I was against the Dolphins, because the Commanders are nothing special, but I'm going to take a touchdown here for sure. In an NFL football game, it's fun to have teams like the Falcons and the Lions, right? I mean, we almost call the Lions overrated at this point. Can we call the Falcons overrated with their 2-0 record? Ritter, pedestrian at quarterback necessarily, but when you can run the ball like this, it makes life so much easier. And that's been the key. Talk about scoring clutch in the red zone. That's the Falcons. They pretty much put in the end zone they score every time, but they've been clutch. They're pretty good as road underdogs too. And so far, Ritter 4-2 as a starter. Look out! Can only do one of two things. So might be up against it here. Look at this total at 46. Reported team came in on the under, but Falcons should be able to compete here. It just looks like too much of a bargain on the Lions. If the Lions are this good, Falcons 2-0, full of themselves a little bit. I like what the Falcons are doing. Probably going to have to take the Lions, though, and, lay 3 points or lay a money line maybe. It's all the way up to $1.67 on the money line. But to me, red zone opportunity, scoring in the red zone, being able to run the ball, as key. You talk about, look, Falcons, every time they've been in the red zone, they've been converted. Detroit, you get in the red zone against Detroit, you're putting the ball, you're scoring. not every time, but almost every time you're putting it in the end zone, that's where Detroit's had their problems. So maybe we see more offense here. I know this, I'm total got as low as 44 and a half. I don't know where that was. It opened 47-ish, 47 and a half. And you got the Lions kind of putting up all those numbers. They're a big play offense, right? I've seen them going down the field several times in the first two games on some big plays. Remember Campbell laying points. Campbell's your guy. 24 and 11 against the spread. Well, 4-2 is a favorite. I mean, I just be Campbell converges as a dog, but he still converges as a favorite. Hasn't happened very often. That's what I need to make clear on that. But Lions are a very good spread team. Falcons 2-0 coming in. This is the NFL. But do like what the Falcons are. The characteristics that I point, and all these teams that are, behind center, they're not in the shotgun, they're giving their quarterback options, right? Read option is one thing, but being able to, this is the NFL. You can run. There's not a lot of pressure, right? The shotgun was kind of a thing, right? To originally, right, when you think of all these offense, right, to get the ball faster, get the quarterback in position quicker, deliver the ball quicker. In the NFL, when so much deals on, power, strength, speed, you want to be able to run the football. So Lions were clutch. Oh boy, I'm going to lay these short points with the Lions and just make it clear that what the Falcons are doing is the right way. I look at Arthur Smith and I think of, when I see they show him I think of a Beautiful Mind a little bit, because there's some talented guys on that offense. There's Frederick on Atlanta, Lions just to win. And Maurice on the line. Lions feel pretty popular. They feel kind of square to me. I mean, I want to make every case for the Falcons, but to me, the line the look ahead was 6 when all this started to happen with the line. Falcons looking pretty decent, 2-0 start. Then maybe there were some 4 openers, generally 3.5, and now down to 3. I don't think you're going to get anybody off of 3. It's not going to 2.5 or anything like that. Hey, Detroit's gone over in 22 of their last 33 home games. Atlanta's gone under in 8 of the last 10, however, so nothing quite there for me yet. I'll take the Lions in this one. Let's talk about the Colts and the Ravens here. This is the Colts versus the Colts, basically. I'm talking way back, of course. The Ravens were the Colts. So that's been the inferred rivalry between the two teams over the, last, I don't know how, 40 years. I would say 40, 38, 30, I'm trying to remember. But I didn't know. Anyways, the Ravens here, this is big points against, we don't know who's going to be quarterbacking this game. That's a problem for the Colts. So, I'm pro Anthony Richardson at this point. Call me a fan. I'm not expecting him to. All these rookie quarterbacks, I'm liking them. If I had to put my, when you talk about they say, oh, the rookie quarterback classes, I would put my money on minor league success, like above average successful group of rookie quarterbacks than unsuccessful when it's all said and done. I mean, if you had to draw the line at some, at a 50, this group will be better than average. So maybe because there just seems to be an extra starter or 2 out of the rookies this year. But to me, Richardson, I'm not saying the Colts made the right choice. Anybody that ended up taking Richardson, they would have looked a lot better if, his draft position was lower, because I think he will look the part. There will be moments. The injury prone thing could be because he is adventurous, if you will, or a risk taker at quarterback, and that can be the downfall. of quarterbacks sometimes. In this one, the total is currently at 45. Opened as low as 44, now up to 45. So I get it. I mean, the Ravens here, they won their first 2 games. They're averaging 26 points per game so far. And they're, clutch on third down. They come through, keep those drives alive. They're usually pretty crummy favorites. I think Minshew can, I'd rather have Richardson, quite frankly. So maybe for me, that's what I'd be interested in knowing before I get too involved in this game. The Ravens have they've been stifling teams at home. They've gone under in 7 of their last 8 games. 8 of their last 9 now. 8 of their last 9 games have gone under. Now the Colts, they usually give it up a little bit on the road here, but the Ravens, they operate the clock well. They get into the red zone. They convert in the red zone. They do just a great job. And, I know we all got excited about Lamar, and I think he's back, but he doesn't need to be back. He doesn't need to be MVP Lamar for this team right now. I think Ravens, even with the, unfortunate injuries, I think they're still in a pretty good position here. It's going to be tough for me to want to lay, these type of points here, even against the Colts. But I guess if Minshew's in there, probably would still be on the Ravens. More likely it'll be on the under if Minshew's in there. If Richardson's in there, I think things are going to change for me. So that's how, so now I, put myself in a little bit of a bind by trying to decide what to give as my free play because I need to know what's going on. I think it's that big of a difference. Minshew's 8-16 as a starter, straight up. Ravens here, Ravens. Eaton and I do not see it the same way. So, but maybe I'm trying to express that my expectation. I mean, I'm not talking about going out and being a playoff caliber team. I'm talking about establishing yourself. The toughest thing for a rookie quarterback is to keep the job. Right? I mean, rookie quarterbacks are usually replaced, by the backup and then sit for the rest of the season if they're not handling it. So at this point, which of to me, Stroud looks like the earliest candidate for a benching, but what do you guys think on that? Anything? So hopefully Richardson gets back. I'm going to like Richardson. So I better just give out the total, and I will give it under. Ravens are at home here. I expect unders to come back in to be in vogue in week 3.